Hola, it's Matthew here, back with Amy.
Hi there.
With your latest October property market report for the Costa Tropical. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us again. Well, what's been happening in the property market on the Costa Tropical?
Well, I mean, there's always lots of things happening. I think probably the first one that we should touch on is what's happening with tourist licenses, because it is total chaos as usual.
Yeah, does anyone know what's actually happening with tourist licenses?
I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen or what is
Yeah.
happening. What we do know is that over 50,000 properties have been registered as irregular. 16,000 of those are in Andalusia,
Yeah.
in the area that we're working in. That's a fact. That's something that we do know.
So yeah, it seems that the mix-up has been the Junta de Andalucía said that the tourist license couldn't be transferred with the property. It actually was in the name of the person, and now the High Court has ruled that the license belongs to the property, not to the person.
Which kind of makes sense.
Well, it does make sense,
You
yeah.
know, if the license is over the property,
You're not
not
licensing
not
a
the human
person.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've seen quite a mix of, not only there now two conflicting advices on it, but most of the ayuntamientos don't seem to even know that those things have changed from before, so they're still just transferring licenses.
No, we've had no problem so far. We've had lots of lawyers and gestores that have been working with us, and people have been purchasing properties and having no problem at all transferring those licenses over. So it seems that the town halls for now are just continuing as they are.
Well, it's standard for Spain.
Yes.
Okay. What else has been happening? One thing that I know that's been quite common, the theme this year really has been property stock levels. And so, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market at the moment?
I don't think we'd call it a buyer's market or a seller's market just now. It's been really interesting. Obviously, everybody's been talking about the lack of stock generally in Spain that's been coming to the market. And that has meant that there's more demand from buyers, essentially. There's less property available. They're looking to buy. But buyers do seem to be a bit more cautious as well at the same time with everything that's going on in the world economy.
Yeah. Yeah, there does seem to be that air of caution. It's almost like the browsers in the market that might have bought something if they see they like it are just still browsing rather than committing. But certainly for sellers who've got the right property, they're selling really quickly still.
Oh, absolutely. If you've got the right property, you've got a good marketing plan, you've got the right images out there, those properties are still definitely selling. You're absolutely right about the browsers, though, and it does make an agent's job a little bit more difficult. But we relish the challenge.
Yeah, of course.
It just means we've got to be a bit more careful about making sure who's buying and who's not.
Well, certainly for sellers, it's really important the buyers are being qualified properly, not just here on holiday having a quick look, making sure that buyers can actually afford what they're looking at as well.
Absolutely,
that's been a big one lately.
That's been a very big one
Yes.
lately. Yeah.
And I guess the other thing, interesting one this month has been lawyers. And not all lawyers are the same.
No, not.
Do you want to explain that one?
I can explain that one, absolutely. We've had such an interesting experience this month. Obviously, we have lawyers that we recommend.
Of course.
And that's not for any other reason than we know they do a really good job.
That's an interesting one, because lots of things you see on social media are don't use the lawyer the agent recommends. They're getting a backhander. They're in cahoots.
We see it all the time.
I don't doubt that happens out there. It's not the way that we work.
No, absolutely not. If we're making a recommendation, it's because I genuinely believe that lawyer's going to do the best job for you. This month, we've had an experience with a lawyer who was going through the paperwork for a property, asked for several certificates, and then came back with a quote for an AFO for this property, when it was very clear that the property already had an AFO. And it's €5,000 they're quoting for their client to get an AFO done on a property that already had one. So it was completely legally impossible to do a second AFO.
And that was easily seen, not just on the nota simple as well. It's clearly defined on there.
All they would have needed to do was read the second page of the nota simple, which I think, being honest, is the absolute minimum I would be expecting my lawyer to do.
Yeah.
Most buyers are able to do that. They don't need a lawyer to do that.
Yep.
So if your lawyer's not even looking at the second page of a nota simple, that's why you should go with the recommended lawyer,
yeah.
because the lawyers we recommend are able to read both sides of that document.
It's kind of a fairly standard thing for a lawyer to read both sides
They're
of the
very
document.
good at that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is really important because I think a lot of the time, particularly with country properties, some lawyers don't actually really have the depth of knowledge to understand everything that is happening with those as well.
I definitely agree with that. It's something that we often see with out-of-area lawyers. It's not that that lawyer is incompetent.
No,
it's not
no.
that they're doing a bad job or they're being lazy. It's that they simply don't possess the local knowledge needed to be able to correctly inform their client and know what paperwork they're looking
Absolutely, yeah.
at. A lawyer from Malaga can't correctly advise a client that on a property in Granada. And
No, I mean we've seen that recently with people asking for LPOs on 200-year-old Corticos and things. It's like it just doesn't exist. Why are you asking for it?
it doesn't work.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that, and I'm sure we'll have some more experiences to update on. What else is happening in the Costa Tropical?
I think something to touch on, which is not the most exciting topic this week, I'm afraid, but something to touch on a little bit is what's been happening with energy certificates.
Okay.
Because I'm getting loads of buyers and loads of people asking me like, oh, from 2030, I'm not going to be able to sell my property or buy a property that doesn't have an E rating on an energy certificate.
Yep.
Of course, if you don't know what that is, just get in touch. We can give you more information about what exactly an energy certificate is.
I actually wrote a blog on the 2030 thing as well, so that's on our website if people want a further update.
Perfect. You can read about it as well. But if you have any specific questions, we're always really happy to answer them over the phone. So I think that's something that I've really seen in the last few weeks. There seems to be a lot of misinformation about the 2030 rule with the energy certificates, and that Spain is going to be obligated to prevent the purchase and sale of properties and rental of properties that don't have an E rating, which is just simply not the case. Spain aren't being obligated to do that. Each country can choose its own restrictions there. They have agreed to an overall improvement plan moving towards 2050. Yes, they have agreed to do that. But that from 2030 onwards, there will be no properties in Spain sold that that are under an E rating or an E rating or below. It's just simply not the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's the standard stuff, isn't it? That the media tend to pick up on something, publish this doom and gloom, when actually the reality of it is often far more simple.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's not a case of preventing the sale of properties. Something interesting that has changed is that from the 12th of August, if you want to do a taxation with a bank for a mortgage, you now do have to have an energy certificate. So that is something to bear in mind, that if you think the buyer of your property might need a mortgage, if you don't have an energy certificate, they're not going to be in a position to go forwards with the taxation of the property. So that is a real change that has happened.
It has, which is also interesting in that it's actually a legal requirement to have an energy certificate available when you market a property for sale, yet it's scary how many people, even agents, don't know that you need that because they just don't get them.
Oh, they just don't do them. The amount of properties that we work with after they've not achieved what they wanted to with another agent, and I ask for their energy certificate and they don't have one, and I'm kind of sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, you have technically been advertising your property illegally.
Yeah.
I also get lots and lots of sellers that when I say, we, as part of the instruction of the property, we need to prepare you an energy certificate, and they go, oh no, that's something that we do at the end when we've got a buyer. That's not true.
It's not. Yeah.
It's a legal requirement when you begin to market your property that you should have that energy certificate. Okay. So there's quite a lot around that, and if anybody has any specific questions, obviously we're happy to help.
Yeah, always get in touch and ask. Don't rely on social media, don't rely on Facebook groups for getting your property advice. No. Talk to us.
No, that's where these rumours have started from.
More often than not, yeah. Okay, well, a bit of a legal one this time round. We'll try and get some more exciting news next time, but it's all exciting for us.
It's all very important.
It is
and
very
I think
important.
that's the key.
That is. So everyone at home, please like and subscribe. It really helps our channel, and so we can continue making these great videos for you. And pop any comments below or get in touch. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.